South Australia for the presentation today, and we're so excited. Do you ever feel like the odds are stacked against you? Matt McQuinley has made overcoming adversity a lifelong mission, physically, mentally, and in business. He's built multi-million-dollar companies across 3 continents and helped others multiply their success. Today, he's here to share powerful insights to help you push past any obstacle you encounter. Please welcome Matt McQuinley.
There's a story about a guy walking down the street and he falls into a deep, deep hole. The sides are so steep, he can't climb out. And he's yelling, please, please help me out of this hole. And people are just walking by, going about their day, ignoring him. Well, after a while, his doctor walks by. And he says, doctor, please help me out of this hole. And the doctor looks down at him, reaches into his lab coat pocket, pulls out a prescription pad, writes down a prescription, throws it into the hole, and walks off. Well, he's not super impressed with that, but he's yelling, please help me out of this hole. And meanwhile, his pastor walks by. And he looks up and he says, Father, please help me out of this hole. And his pastor looks down at him, reaches into his pocket, pulls out a piece of paper and a pen, writes down a prayer, throws it into the hole, folds his hands, and keeps walking. Well, not long after that, one of his best friends walks by. And he says, buddy, please help me out of this hole. And without hesitation, his friend leaps into the hole. And he's right next to him. And he's like, man, what are you doing? Why did you jump in the hole? Now we're both down here. And his friend goes, yeah, we're both down here. But see, I've been down here before, and I know the way out. That's who I'd like to be for you. My name's Matt McQuinley, if you didn't hear earlier. And I tell you, I've had my share of adversity. There are people that have had more, but I've had my share. From being brought up in near poverty, one of my first rememberings is of rats. And I got in the habit of sleeping with the covers over my head because I was afraid the rats would eat me as a child. I was 26 years old before I could break that habit. A lot of the kids in our neighborhood had to sleep in the bathtub because their mothers were worried about the bullets hitting them at night. Okay? I was told I couldn't play next door with my best friend Gus. Why? Because the dad shot and killed an intruder. In my personal physical life, I had asthma so bad I couldn't take PE until the age of 13. Despite that, I was able to qualify for nationals in swimming, and I ended up boxing in university, and I graduated from one of the toughest military universities in the United States. As far as mentally, we don't want to talk about too much about mental with me, but as far as mentally, I was told I had a learning disability. But despite that, I was able to graduate top of my class in high school and first in my class in university. And if we go back to business, I started my first business broke with a $1,500 loan from a friend, and I was able to build that up to being pretty well off. And then after a while, I decided I needed more character, so I got broke. So then I was able to build that back up, and I got rich, really rich. Well, at least rich for me anyway, 7 figures, no, 8 figures, okay? And then, because I decided I didn't have enough character, I got really, really broke the second time. And then I get back to well off again and sold everything and retired a multi-millionaire. But that wasn't an easy path. During that time, I'll just give you a few of the headlights, not all of them, a few. I got audited 4 times by the ATO. I had $1.7 million identity theft. I had 1 employee steal $250,000. I had 2 employees steal $100,000 each. I had a couple other employees steal about $50,000 each. I had someone die at my place of business, not recommended. I was on Today Tonight, not recommended. I was, what else did we have? We had consumer affairs issues. We went to the Fair Work Ombudsman. I could go on and on and on, but you get the point. And I'd like to share with you some of the strategies I used to get out of those holes. And I developed the ladder program to help you climb out of the hole. And it all starts with listen. And what kind of listening does somebody who's in a hole need? There's two kinds of listening. There's sympathy and there's empathy, okay? And you need empathy, okay? Sympathy is sitting and crying with someone. You don't need that. You need somebody who understands where you're coming from, where you're at, and who is real with you. And empathy ties into a little bit like a like. Okay, you need to understand that, and we all do this, that you're not the only one in the world that's had it rough. You know, I used to think that I had the world's supply of adversity. You know, like I had it all squirreled away in my closet like Fort Knox, and I had the monopoly. But it's not true. And I tell you, the day that I woke up, and I'll give you the example, you might hate this guy with a passion. That's okay, you can hate him. You might like him. It doesn't matter for this example. But Donald Trump, he was $900 million US, that's real money, okay, in debt at one point. That's 1.5 billion with a B in debt in Australian dollars. And could you imagine walking down the street and some guy says, buddy, can you spare me $5 for cigarettes? And that guy, that dirty guy that hasn't had a bath in a month because he's living on the street, is worth $1.5 billion more than you? My 2.7 million looked like nothing. I was like, hey, I guess I should go out to my car, lift up the car seats. Maybe I can find enough coins to cover it. Okay? So we've got to understand that. Then what I do is I help people figure out a direction. I forgot to tell you guys, did I tell you I'm a basketball coach? Oh, I'm a good one. I hate to brag, but I'm a good one. I am so good, I can teach anyone in this room, except for maybe Matt, okay? How to shoot free throws better than Michael Jordan, LeBron James, or Larry Bird on their best day. Provided I blindfold Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James, spin them around on the court so nobody can see so they can't see the basket, and then tell them to shoot. And you think, Matt, that's crazy. Of course they can't sink a basket when they don't even know where the basket is. That's a great question. How can they sink the basket when they don't know where it is? Well, here's a better question. How can you hit a goal you don't even have? So I help them figure out their direction. And I can't do that for them. Their wife can't do it for them. Their friends can't do it for them. But I help them do it for them. Then we do design, which is a plan. And again, I help them develop their plan, not my plan, not me coming on from on high with my 10 commandments. You must do this. Listen to the mighty guru Matthew. It has to be their plan. They have to have buy-in. I help them develop it with them, and they take ownership, and they will get the results they want. Then we empower them. There's two ways we empower them. I'll do this real quick here. But one is by learning. And one thing I do, oh my goodness, 2 minutes. This is what I'm not supposed to do, speaker training, okay? All right, so one is by teaching, and one is by making them feel comfortable in what's going on. And they should have enough confidence after all of this, okay, that they believe in themselves enough to be successful. And if they don't, that's what I'm here for. I work my black magic upon them and give them confidence. I could do that, couldn't I, Troy? Absolutely. Last thing is we roll it out. Roll out. What does roll out mean? It means we make it happen. We work the plan. We work the plan day in and day out. And you may or may not be aware of this, but Mike Tyson said that everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. So the point is that you might have to adjust your plan. So I'm there to help them adjust the plan and make the steps they need to be successful. And I want to leave you with this. all of us are going to end up in a hole. But there are two kinds of people in the room right now. There's the kind of people that are going to fall in the hole and they're not going to ask for help. They're going to fall in the hole and they go, I'm in a hole, it's all over. They're going to fall in the hole and go, there's no way out. They're going to fall in the hole and they're going to give into despair. They're going to fall in the hole and they're going to listen to the prophets of doom. And then there's the kind of people that are going to ask for help. And even if they can't get it, they're going to fight and claw and do whatever they have to do to get out of that hole, hit their objectives, and get the life they deserve and take care of them and their loved ones. The real question here is, which kind of person are you?